guys, and welcome back to another episode of Live, Love, Life, and Travel. This is your girl Shamika, and if you're new here, welcome. Just to let you know, I upload my travel topic videos throughout the weekdays and my free talk and my story time videos on the weekends. So if you're interested, please hit that subscribe button. Today's topic of discussion is going to be short-term travelers versus long-term travelers. What's the difference between the two? Between someone who's traveling long-term, this is their lifestyle, compared to someone who is just on like a short holiday or short vacation. I think that I can now spot out someone who is a long-term traveler. For instance, I was staying at the hostel in Bangkok, and I noticed that there was this one guy. It was kind of cute. Oh, this one guy who was just sticking to himself. He didn't even look up or look over to say hi, hello, how are you doing? The sun. How are you doing? What's your name? Anything. He just had his earphones on. He was on his computer or his tablet, just sort of sticking to himself for 2 to 3 days straight. I noticed this, and I just started thinking to myself, I bet you he's a long-term traveler. And so one day I was rummaging through my bag, and I kind of just looked over at him, was hey, hi, my name's, what's your name? My name's Shamika, blah, 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 a little bit of small talk. And it wasn't that he was not wanting to talk to people. He wasn't just going out of his way to do so. So anyway, I asked him how long has he been traveling. He was it's over a year, almost 2 years. And I was I knew it. I knew you're a long-term traveler. And he was why? And I was because you don't mind being by yourself. You don't mind being alone and isolated. And he was yeah, you get used to it. You kind of start to enjoy it. And I was exactly. The thing with short-term travelers, they for some reason cannot get that. They do not understand that. The amount of times where I've been on my computer just by myself, where I've come to be people have come up to me that's on their short holiday, you've been sitting here all day, you've been on your computer, why have you been out, what are you doing, do you want to see something? They don't, because they assume that everyone's on holiday like them, so they're why aren't you going out to make the most of your vacation? And long-term travelers, for us, it's a lifestyle, and we don't never plan on not traveling. So even if we don't do or see the things that we wanted to see, or if we don't do or see the things that now, we can always go back and see it later. If we don't experience what we wanted to experience or travel through a country the way we wanted to, our bucket list way, then we can always go back later. It doesn't feel that our travels is fleeting and slipping out of our fingers and we have to grab every second of it. We feel it's gonna be here, God willing. We're gonna live long lives and we're gonna be traveling forever, so we can always just come back and do those things. So it's not this rush. And I feel with short-term travelers, they have almost this ADHD feel, where they constantly have to be filling up their second day with everything, because they are only traveling for a couple of weeks, or maybe even a couple of months. They saved up for months or a year or even years for this holiday, and so they feel they have to fill up every second of the day. And especially if they're a solo traveler, as soon as they sit down and enter a room, they're immediately trying to spark up a conversation. Where are you from? What's your name? How long you been traveling? Where have you been? How long are you going to travel? Where are you from? The 20 questions that all travelers ask each other, because they feel they constantly have to be doing something. And especially if they're solo travelers, they want to find friends to do things with. So that's why I could tell the other guy was a long-term traveler, because he wasn't doing that that immediate trying to find friends and figure out where everybody's from. And short-term travelers tend to do that a lot quicker. I mean, long-term travelers do those things too, but we don't feel the need to always do that, because we don't feel the need to fill up our time and our space with something to do. And especially a lot of short-term travelers aren't working online. They don't have any other hobbies or anything to fill their time. So if they're not doing something or having a conversation with someone, then they're just sitting there and they're bored. So they feel they have to constantly be doing something to feel their holiday and vacation has been worth the sacrifice of saving the money and coming here. The other difference between a long-term traveler and a short-term traveler is that they spend more money. Like I said before, short-term travelers usually save up for months to a year, sometimes years, to go on these holidays. And so they're not saving all that money to go traveling to then save money. They're saving all that money so they can blow and spend all that money on their vacation or on their holiday. So they're not thinking of, I want to save some more or put some to the side for something else. They this is the money I save so I can spend all of it while I'm traveling. So depending on the length of the travel, sometimes if it's a very long, like if it's like 6-8 months, then that is kind of a longer term traveling, or mid-range. But if they're on a short holiday, like just for a few weeks or a couple of months, a lot of times they're just blowing their money like water. A lot of times they're doing a lot of touristy things that cost money, and a lot of long-term travelers don't really do touristy things, or we do them seldom, or we did them in the beginning of our travel, so we got them all out of the way. Or we're gonna go back and do it. So we're not thinking like, oh, let's do all the tourist things. A lot of short-term travelers have an agenda, they have an itinerary, they have all the things they need to see. So because again, they want to fill up all their time, they want to fill up all their days, so they can feel like it was worth working so hard to save all that money for the holiday, which is totally understandable. Especially if they're really new to traveling in Thailand or Southeast Asia. Everybody kind of goes through this. I did, where you come down here and you're like, I'm rich, bitch, because your money goes really far, and so you just feel like you're a millionaire, and you're just throwing it all over the place, and you're making it rain, and you're not asking for deals, you're not asking for discounts, you're not haggling, you're not doing any of those things, because in your mind you're like, oh my god, it's just such a little money, like what's the point, I don't even care. And so it's easier to get ripped off and stuff like that, because you're not thinking about those things. You haven't compared prices, you haven't been in that country, in that area long enough to know like if that's too expensive, or if that's too cheap, or if that's just right, or anything like that. Where a long-term traveler has that experience, and they know, like the sangtangs, or the red cars, they're like kind of mini buses or taxi type of vehicles here in Chiang Mai. The base price is $20. If you're getting picked up and dropped off anywhere in the town, it's 20 baht. That's all it is. Everybody pays 20 baht. Long-term travelers and expats who live here and locals, we all know it's 20 baht. But travelers don't know that, so they end up spending way more money because they haven't been here long enough to find that out and to learn those things. And so again, you just have less time to compare prices and know where to go. And where a long-term traveler, it's much easier to budget your money when you're a long-term traveler, because especially depending on how long you're staying in each country, because it is a difference between someone who's traveling long-term and an expat, and I'll talk about that in another video. But depending on how long you've stayed in each country, or how many times you've been to that country, you already have your routine developed. You have the places you eat, you have the places you go, you have the markets you attend, you have the laundromat you drop your clothes off, you have your little places you already go, you know how much money you're making a week or monthly, so you know how to budget your money. It's easier to save money and budget money when you're long-term traveling. I think in some cases it's cheaper to be a long-term traveler than going on a short holiday. Again, depending on what you want to do and what you want to experience. Not to say that long-term travelers don't try new things or go on touristy things and stuff like that. We just do them we don't do them all the time. It's like it's more sporadic. It's more spread out, I guess. And again, this is general. This is not everybody. This is not every single person. I made a video a while ago about like the pros and cons to being a solo traveler and traveling with other people, and I said that one of the good things about traveling with a partner is that it makes your travels cheaper. Sometimes. If you're a long-term traveler who is used to spending a certain amount of money and stuff like that, and you're traveling with a short-term traveler, I think you'll find yourself actually spending more money, the long-term traveler. And it's true in my case. Every single time I found myself traveling or pairing up with someone who was just on a short holiday, I have almost every single time spent more money than I'm used to, because again, they want to do more touristy things, they constantly feel the need to do things, they constantly got to be out, they constantly got to be walking around, they constantly got to be seeing things, they constantly got to be buying things, and so I always end up spending more money. Unless they're a long-term traveler like me and they have the same mindset than I have, then yeah, you do save money. Like for example, I was in Malaysia and I started hanging out with short-term travelers and people who are just on holiday, and they wanted to go eat. And so they went to this really Western foofy uppity restaurant, and they were all ordering Indian curry. But it was like a westernized, watered-down version of Indian curry. Mind you, we are literally 5 minutes away from Little India, where you can buy authentic, thick, creamy, delicious, flavorful, spicy Indian curry. But they wanted to eat here because it's fancy and it looks nice, and you can take really cute Instagram photos at this restaurant. Like, what? So for me, and it was another long-term traveler with me that was sitting with me, and she was kind of like, yeah, like, I would probably rather go to Little India too. But for them, they was like, no, but this is cute, and look at the lights, and taking selfies of ourselves, and this is so pretty. And which is fine, they are free to do that. But I was just like, I'm gonna go walk down to Little India and get some actual Indian food, and plus it's a fraction of the price. And they were ordering beers. There's, again, 5 minutes away, the cheapest place to drink in Chiang Mai, the same exact beer that they were ordering for 30 baht, or 30, not 30 baht, but 30 ringgit, a rupiah, ringgit I think. They're like 30 something ringgit. You can get 3 of the same beers for 9 or 11. 3 of the same beers for like 11 towards 1 beer for 30 something. And so for me as a long-term traveler, I was like, I'm just gonna go get the same beer for a fraction of the price. Like, I don't need to take selfies of myself and get Instagram photos or anything like that. But I feel like a lot of short-term travelers do that. And I know I kind of making myself sound like a tightwad. I'm not a tightwad. Like, I will say I will spend the money if I feel like it's worth spending the money. But I didn't feel like it was worth it. There's Little India right there with better food and the same fucking beer for a fraction of the price right down the street. Why would I just voluntarily spend more money for no reason just because there's pretty like sparkly lights in the background? Like, I can't do it. But I feel like I find myself in that position a lot of times when I am traveling with short-term travelers where I'm like, why are we eating here? We can just go down the street. And a lot of times they just do it because it feels fancy, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's the difference. I again would spend money if I spend the money if I think it's worth it. Like when I was in Bali, I definitely ate at a lot of really fancy foofy restaurants, but the food was amazing, and I felt like it was worth it because you weren't gonna find that dish somewhere else. So to me, that was one of a kind, and it was worth spending the money. But if I can find the dish that's more authentic, tastes better, and a fraction of the price, then why am I not going to do that? But I feel like that's the difference. And because I've been to Malaysia a lot, I know where to go to get that authentic, delicious food. And they did it because they were first time travelers, and they were on just a short holiday. I feel like the other difference is just what you're looking for and what you're trying to gain out of your travels. Again, a lot of people are on short holidays. A lot of them do go on short holidays, like maybe on a yearly basis, like a month, every month, like 1 month a year, 2 weeks out of every year they go traveling. But sometimes this is like their last hurrah. This is their last bit of fun they can have before they have to get a job, before they have to get married and stop popping out babies. So a lot of times this is another reason why they're trying to like squeeze every tiny bit of fun and excitement they can out of this holiday, because they feel like this is the last time I'm going to be able to be young before I have to go be an adult. So let me just take every second I can in, which is understandable. But a lot of times because of that, they are here to party. They want to drink, they want to get drunk, they want to get fucked up, they want to party their asses off, they want to fuck as many girls, guys, whatever in between as they can. They want to do drugs, they want to like lose their minds, because a lot of them feel like this is my last chance. It's kind of like their spring break, which again is understandable. And again, it's not like long-term travelers don't do this. We do party too, we get fucked up, we fuck, and we do drugs and all those things. But when I say drugs, I mean like, you know, like hallucinogenics and weed and stuff, not like crack. And I'm generalizing, I'm not saying every single person. But I'm just saying we long-term travelers have fun too. We know how to party too, but I'm just saying we don't have this panicked feeling that we have to like party every single day and get drunk every single night because this is our last. I don't know why I'm gripping my hair like that. This is our last chance to have fun. And I think a lot of short-term travelers, that is their mentality. I think a lot of long-term travelers, a lot of them are just trying to find a different sort of lifestyle that caters to their mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It's less stressful, it's less materialistic, they don't have to think about consumerism, it's less this, you know, beat the Joneses and one up your neighbor and this competitiveness, and it's less of that, and that's what they're looking for. So they're looking for just a different lifestyle in general. That fits who they are, whether, you know, or they're looking to be more spiritual or more healthy, more mentally healthy, more physically healthy. So I feel like that's another difference between short-term and long-term traveling. Not that I'm saying short-term travelers aren't looking for like peace and meditation and yoga, because sometimes they are too, but I feel like it's more they're trying to get an experience and not change their life lifestyle, where long-term travelers are trying to change their lifestyle. So yeah, it's just the way, the energy, the vibe that a lot of short-term travelers get off, the way they spend money, what they're trying to get out of traveling. I think that's one of the biggest differences. And it's so nice to, like, when you see or you run into someone it's their first time in Thailand, and that excitement and that, like, oh, that rush, and as like a veteran, you can like tell them like all the things they should do and all the things they should watch out for and all the local and all the secret places they should go and all these things. It feels good to be able to do that. Not to say that long-term travelers lost that love of traveling or lost that zest or excitement of traveling. We're just more calm with it and more like sort of laid back and serene with it, because we God willing, we know that this is our life and we have time, and we're gonna see and do what we want to do. It's no rush. It's not that we gotta fill every second up of every day. So yeah, I think that's the difference. I hope that made sense. If you guys agree with me, please put in a comment in the comment section below. If you are a short-term or a long-term traveler and you've noticed these differences, or if you notice differences that I didn't actually say, please put it in a comment section below. If you have any questions or any just general comments, again, please put it in a comment section below. Like this video if you want to like it, share it, spread it out to the world if you want to share it, and if you want to continue to having these type of conversations or continue to follow me on this beautiful game called life, please subscribe. And if you subscribe, hit the bell so you get the notifications when I do upload. Check out my social media links. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and if you like, you can donate to my Patreon or my PayPal. Thank you so much. From Live, Love, Life, and Travel.